My name is Kaye Judt, and I'm coming to you from the Thread Corner, north of Greenfield, Indiana. And I'm ready to show you how to needle tat rings and chains together in one pattern. When we did our rings only pattern, we cut a length of thread. When we did our rings only pattern, we cut a length of thread off the ball. That left us with rings separated by a single thread. Now we're going to do rings, but then we're going to put a length of chain, tatted chain, in between them. To do that, we'll be working off the ball of thread. We want to thread up our tatting needle. Okay. We're going to thread up our tatting needle, and then this time we're going to grab a length of thread coming from the ball, and our thread loop goes off to the right along over here on this end next to the eye of the needle. And we'll be casting on all our stitches using the ball thread. The double stitches are made exactly the same, where we wrap the thread around our finger from left to right, run the needle up the inside, put that loop onto the needle, and then we wrap it around our finger the other way, come up the back side. And we're going to do 4 double stitches. We're going to leave a picot space, followed by 4 double stitches worked side by side. Another picot space. Followed by 4 double stitches. And then our 3rd picot. Okay, here we have our ring double stitches cast onto our tatting needle. And then to close this works a little bit differently. Because our thread loop is off to the right, I want to hang on to all our double stitches, but I stick my little finger in within that thread loop. I'll pull the needle through our double stitches, and then before I pull the loop of thread all the way through, I want to insert my needle through that thread loop. This technique requires that we stabilize the shape, and so to do that, we'll take our tatted ring, turn it over, and actually tie a knot after making it. By tying this knot, it stabilizes our double stitches as well as reverses the work. So now we're going to start our chain. We're going to bring our ring right up against the tatting needle, grasp it in our right hand, and make sure our loop of thread is here off to the right near the eye of the needle. We're going to start our chain by doing a double stitch. We want to work that right up against the ring that we made. Double stitches are made exactly the same as for our ring. And we'll do 4 double stitches. We can do picots on our chains as well. And we'll do 1 more picot on this chain. And so here's our tatted chain with 3 sections of double stitches, 4 double stitches separated by 2 picots. Now to make our ring, we pushed the needle through our double stitches and then brought the needle through this thread loop. When we're doing a chain, all we need to do is push the needle through our double stitches. We don't need to go up through that loop because we're not making a ring. And again, we need to stabilize this shape. So we'll turn our work over and tie a knot. This stabilizes the chain as well as reverses the work for us again. So then we can work another ring. We want to bring it up so that it touches the end of the chain. We'll begin with 4 double stitches. Again, we're going to join to the last ring that we made, the last picot of the last ring that we made. And so we put that picot on top of the thread that's closest to the tip of our needle and pull a loop of thread up through the picot onto our tatting needle. We'll tighten this down just to the needle, follow with the second half, and that's our first double stitch in our next group of 4, so we do 3 more double stitches side by side. We'll do 2 more picots separated by 4 double stitches. And finish up with 4 more double stitches. And so again, you'll notice that with this second ring that we're making, we only added 2 picots instead of the first 3 that we made, and that's because this ring, new ring, will share the picot with the very first ring that we made. And so again, we'll push the needle through all of our double stitches, and I want to make sure that I go through this loop, so I put my small finger into that loop. And before we pull that thread all the way through, we bring the needle up through that loop. And again, we need to stabilize it, so we'll turn the thread over, or turn the tatted piece over, and tie another knot. And we're ready to do another chain. So that's how you do rings and chains patterns. We still have the 2 rings, but we have a chain running between them instead.